in prisons, hey, if you're doing a crime that's non-violent, then decriminalize it. Give them something else. And if your school's overcrowded, well, give kids vouchers to go to other schools instead of putting kids in putting all these kids in one particular school building. Now, now some school districts do a good job of distributing the wealth of students in different buildings. However, other schools throw them all in. Now, think about this one too. You have some schools that have what's the word I'm looking for? Alternative schools or an alternative program for behaviors. Now, think about that. You have some schools that are designed for the behavior modification and whatever that behavior may be, could be academic or social, violent, what have you. And then you have some students that are itching to get kids kicked out of their schools and thrown in here. So it's kind of like we're taking our problems and putting them somewhere else. Well, this student is not doing their assignments and their parents aren't reaching out. Or this kid got suspended, put them in this building right here. And then I want you to think about your alternative schools. Now, of course, some kids need to be in an alternative setting. Yeah. However, alternative school is not the ripcord for every kid that's falling out of the airplane of education in your school system. No. Sometimes you gotta just change the location in your aircraft. A lot of the problems can be fixed within the school setting if teachers sit down and work with parents and all vested parties for these kids. Because in theory, your alternative schools shouldn't be overcrowded. Those should be small numbers. They should. Because you should have qualified staff to fix these problems. I worked in the school and you have teachers who would kick kids out for every little thing. You don't got a pencil, get out. Your head's down, get out. Your homework's not done, get out. You're not working, get out. Like, wow. And they throwing all these kids out without calling the kids' parents. So think about that. You throw this kid out on the regular, but you haven't called that parent well, I don't like emailing, I like calling parents, I like doing face-to-face with parents. And you're not contacting the parent, letting them know what the issue is. I mean, give the kid a pencil. Now, if it's an ongoing issue, then call the parent. Hey, look, your kid is constantly doing these little things that will eventually grow bigger. Nip it in the bud. And then you won't have all these issues like your ISS room being crowded. I mean, your ISS room does not have 25 or 30 kids up in there. No. Or you got kids getting sent out. You're overcrowding areas where you have people who are doing multiple jobs because you have people that's not doing theirs. So I know I kind of got off on another tangent, but it does kind of go into the whole overcrowding too. You need to look at how you can distribute the wealth of your students evenly across the board. Don't put them all in one particular room. And also, principals, your strong teachers, stop giving them all the challenging kids because they're not. I mean, yeah, they do their job well, but you can burn them out. And when you burn them out, what are you gonna do? Okay, both are prone to violent insurrection. Of course, if you have a lot of people together, that creates tension. It's like think about going to a club. If you've ever been to a nightclub, I want you to answer this question. If you have a room with a capacity of 100 and you have 20 people in there, are you gonna get a lot of fights, a lot of tension? Probably not. I mean, you are, but probably not. Versus a capacity of 100 and you have 125 people in there, you're more than likely going to have the fights and the aggression and the overcapacity of place. Because see, people, although we're social creatures, we like our space. You know, I like to think about married couples. Now I know you love your wife, you love your husband, you do, of course you do. However, sometimes when they're not in the bed next to you, and you can do this, feels great. It does. It does. Because every now and then you need your own personal space. So if you're in the classroom and you got kids all stacked up on each other, or if you're in a prison, we already know what happens in prisons. You got that violence. Something's gonna pop off. So in case both prison breaks and school shootings occasionally, but not infrequently, stir public fear on the nightly news. Now, when either occurs, blame is usually spread liberally and often misplaced. The state should be at least partially faulted for its overweening presence, yet an inability to effectively maintain peace. Now, the more people you have, the more likelihood you're going to have for violence, for tension, for war. And like I said earlier, evenly distribute your numbers all across the board. Don't put everyone in one particular room. I don't care if Mr. Such and Such is the best teacher. Don't put all those kids in that particular classroom. Separate it, spread it out. Because you're gonna wear down the situation. You're gonna wear down the levees. Now, insurrections can be prevented when prisoners are correctly controlled. School shootings can be prevented if kids are effectively taught right from wrong. Now, in that particular sense, I can kind of see the parallel that my notes are going on. But one thing you gotta look at is think about the bigger picture here. Give people their own personal space. Now, I'm wearing a shirt. No, I am wearing a shirt. It would be very uncomfortable if I had someone else in my shirt with me. Because if you got people fighting over space, it'll be a tug of war. And people will feel that things are being taken from them or things are being withheld from them. Or, right? So if you got that going on, that creates friction, and that friction creates a fire that if it rages for too long, it'll be hard to put out. So again, that goes with the overcrowding of the space. And also in these schools, put people in place that can diffuse these situations versus adding adding alcohol to it and making it blow up even further. So it's gasoline. So keep that in mind too. All right. Both are administered. I'm sorry, both are poorly administered and inefficient. Sad to say, I'm going to say this to y'all. I mean, I don't mind saying this. The deeper and deeper I get into education, the dumber and dumber our school leaders are. And when I say that, when I first went to school, you had individuals who were educators running schools. You don't see that now. You see people who run, businesses run schools, and you see politicians running schools. Politicians and business people should not run schools. Educators should run schools. That's like when you go to church, your pastor, your rabbi, your imam should run your religious building. You should not go to your religious institute and see a clown running it. Doesn't make sense. So why do we have individuals who don't have education degrees or an education mindset running school systems and putting people in place that don't run school that particular thing or that model? For example, if someone does not have a transportation background, they should not run your school district transportation. If someone does not have an administrative background or they have poor people skills, they should not be running your school building. So whenever you see excessive bureaucracy going on like that, it plagues both. Okay, it plagues it. And the heavy state regulations on American K-12 education has enjoyed a well-documented history of failure. Failure wasting on money and resources to little benefit to students and parents. So when you see that, like for example, I had one show and I said, whenever you have a top-heavy school district, where you have your superintendents making more money than the president of the United States, and your central office is top-heavy with money, you don't have a money problem. You have a money distribution problem. And when you have a money distribution problem, then your facilities will suffer. Your resources will suffer. Like in the prison system, it will suffer. So the money's there. You got to ask for it, teachers, parents. Get that money for your students. Because don't sit up here and tell me that our school doesn't have money to get this fixed, and you got someone who don't know what they do making all this money. I want you to do a checklist. If you don't know what every person does in your upper administration, that means your superintendents and their cabinet, then something's an issue. Something is an issue. I remember I worked at a particular institution, and we eliminated a resource, and that resource was able to give someone a job. So, for example, there was some kind of perk that we all was getting, and it was a good perk, but it wasn't a needed perk. So, what it was the organization funded breakfast every day for everyone. So, like, you can go and get a free breakfast, and it wasn't just continental. I mean, it was pancakes, it was eggs, it was quiches, all that stuff that you would see. And the president and CEO of the company said, you know what? Do we really need breakfast every day like this? I mean, yeah, it is helpful, but do we see a lot of people in there eating breakfast like we do lunch? And really, to be quite honest, let's look at how we can cut on costs. So they cut that cost, and it turned out that the free breakfast was costing the company 45 and 50 grand a year. He said, let's cut the free breakfast and use that money to have a salary for somebody. And they was able to give someone a job. So that's the distribution of wealth. So in schools, you walk up into a school building that's falling apart, but you got somebody, with a credit card with enough money to fix that, but they use that money to just fly around. That's not cool. That's poorly administrated. It's poorly administered and it's inefficient. Now, countless cases of prison crimes take place, and they're reported each year at federal penitentiaries. Yet prison officials do little to curb the problem. Just like in our schools too. A lot of stuff happens in our schools, but you don't see much stuff happening. You see things happen to put kids more in that prison mindset. We had an intruder drill one time. And I'm like, man, you walking through this school with this pistol making this gun sound. Pop, 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 pop. What's that putting in the kid's mind? I mean, I understand shock and awe sometimes, but I mean, if you got a kid that's not used to hearing gunfire like that, why are you walking in a safe place or a supposed safe place for a school, walking around firing off rounds? Boom, 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 boom. So now you got in their mind. They're gonna be scared to come to school. And I mean, and parents, that's real. I mean, like my son, I'm not saying I have a perfect household by no means, but there are just certain things that my son does not see, and I don't introduce him to. And if he does need to be introduced to it, I need to introduce him to it. So when schools are doing these drills, you might want to look and see what all this drill entails, because it might be introducing certain things to your kids or a level of fear to your kids that they shouldn't hit yet. Pre-K and kindergarten kids shouldn't have to know what gunfire sounds like in their schools. All right, let's see, what else? Both assume one solution for every individual. Okay, both assume one solution for every individual. Now, the U.S. justice policy incorrectly assumes that incarceration will solve many problems. All right, so pretty much they think that throw someone in jail, that solves the problem of drugs, gambling, and other violent crimes. The U.S. Department of Education assumes that federal and/or state government standards should apply to every student. Both are incorrect assumptions. Okay. One solution does not fix every problem. Everyone's different. So what I'm saying is, if this person gets caught with a nonviolent offense, why put them in the same facility as someone that committed a violent offense? If this student learns a different way than this classroom full of kids, why are you putting that student in this particular classroom when they learn different? See, I'm a firm believer of multiple intelligence. I don't think that teachers should gear their curriculum to one learning style. So why are you putting kids in classrooms or kids in schools that don't learn according to that particular style? Why are you having one set of tests if all your kids don't test well that particular way? And when you do that, you're putting them all in that mindset, your students, that Everything needs to conform to this one particular thing, just one particular beat. Kind of like I watched the TV show and they said, this guy said, I don't like elections. It needs to be one person to say, hey, I'm running for president. And we all say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Now, of course, that works for him, but that does not work for everyone. Okay? It's like when you go out to a restaurant and they say, hey, so what's on the menu? And there's only one option. Everyone don't need that. It's a menu, right? So why can't education be a menu for our kids? Why can't kids have a selection on where they can go? Now, some areas, it's easier for kids to select what school they want to go to. Many areas, it's not, and they're not good. Same thing for crime offenders. All right, you commit this nonviolent crime. Well, we're going to throw you up in Leavenworth. Whoa, the federal prison, all I did was, you know, steal some groceries from the store. You going to put me in Leavenworth? All right? So, I mean, think about that. So, I mean, one size does not fit all. One size does not fit all, especially with education. And when you do that, that is a form of oppression. That's a form of enslavement. And we all know our prison systems are forms of enslavement. So if I'm sitting up here thinking, hey, I have all these kids from different races, religions, educational backgrounds, different educational strengths and needs, I'm gonna put them all on this one curriculum. That does not work. And you wonder why your data is not where it should be. So when you assume that one solution is for every person, so think about that. If I feel that every kid needs to reach this particular mark, despite whatever they go through, then of course there's going to be consequences for ones who don't. Think about that cartoon. It was an elephant, a fish, a dog, and a butterfly. And the guy said, hey, I'm going to test you all on how well you climb that tree. Now, of course, they're all going to fail. And that's what we're doing right now to our kids. We're telling our kids, I want you all to climb this tree. And it's a tree that they're not designed to climb. But if they can't, you tell their parents, oh, they're sped, or they have some kind of other learning disability, or they got a behavior issue, or we got to kick them out of the school, or you're not effective, or that teacher, you're not teaching this kid right, you're the problem. And that's not the case. The case is the system is designed in an unfair, inequitable manner to oppress our kids when they walk in the door. So already they're being preconditioned under oppression. You got, you expect kids to learn something or know something that they have that they haven't been taught. We got to be more cognitive instead of being behavioral. Both are unnecessarily expensive to taxpayers. Oh, this is the big one. Because politicians fear comprehensive solutions to problems, they end up throwing money at whatever doesn't work right. They do. Oh, they do. And especially if you have a superintendent or someone in your district that's political, they try to get funding. But that funding, where does the funding really go? Ask that question. Where does the funding go? Because obviously you don't see it where it should be in the hands of the students, or benefiting the minds of the students. You don't see that. If you don't see adjustments in your school building or your school curriculum or school resources that teachers pay, where's the money going? But yet you see this person getting all these raises and upper administration, contract extensions and stuff. And also, there are certain taxes that are used from the people, us, to pay for prisons and schools. But we don't see where our money's going. You got someone telling you, hey, if you vote on this bond issue or vote on this, then the schools get this. Really, they don't. You're paying all these taxes for things that don't benefit you or benefit your students. This is a true disastrous effect for both prisons and public schools, to whom the allocation of the taxpayer, it's a tantamount. It's like buying leather love seats for the deck of the Titanic. Think about that. So this this ship is doomed to fail. All your money's going with it. So if the taxpayer is taking all your tax money and putting it in a failing system, where's your money going? That's like setting fire to your money. You don't see the benefit of your taxes. You don't. The school is still failing. And I've been paying taxes on the school for I don't know how long. And then when you have a failing school, think about what this does to a child. Think about the mindset it's putting the kid in. All right, both harm American competitiveness by keeping Americans from being productive. Productivity is what makes us competitive. Competitive is what keeps us striving to be on top. There's nothing wrong with competition. There's nothing wrong with productivity. However, the more and more you look at schools, the more and more they take that from kids. Hence earlier when I said the whole 50% rule. I can sit there and do nothing and still get 50%. I don't care if it's still ahead, but I still got points. Because I'm giving it to them. It's been given to me. In prisons, felons can't vote. Okay, even if they are nonviolent and otherwise productive citizens. So I'm a productive citizen, but because I'm in jail, I did a nonviolent crime. All I did was steal some groceries. I can't vote anymore. Now that's another debate for another show. Should inmates have certain rights? Because you know, if you read the 13th Amendment, what it says about inmates, I personally feel that there are certain rights that certain inmates should have based on the crimes in which they committed. This is my opinion. Now, in schools, poor education inhibits upward mobility and encourages dropouts, and it breeds criminals. So, the more and more you take away the responsibility from students, the more and more the poorer and poorer the education gets. And the poorer and poorer the education gets, their resistance and their resiliency to stay in school starts to waver. Starts to leave. And when it leaves, then they drop out of school. And people think that poor education is linked to crimes, or the committing of crimes. Now, I see education being taken out of school more and more and more each year. I do. I see the teacher doing things for the student and not the other way around. Now, of course, it's a partnership. However, if the teacher's doing the work for the kid, that's an issue. I shouldn't be working harder for your assignment and your grade than you student. It doesn't work like that. That's not life. You got to do something in order to earn something. See, we have a lot of kids in the field that, I had students tell me, well, I did all my work, why I still got a C? Well, I mean, yeah, you did do every assignment, but what was the quality of your work? Did you do 100% work? But I did the assignment. Yeah, but what's the quality of the work? For example, yeah, I cut the yard. What was the quality of the yard cut, though? I just cut the front yard. I didn't cut the back. I still get paid, though. And see, kids think that they can put forth any type of effort or low amount of effort and get maximum funds. That's not how life is. And they have examples of it everywhere they go. Think about it. I just watched the NBA season this year, and no disrespect, of course, those guys they're pro athletes. So I'm not gonna say I play better than you. No, there are some individuals. If I look at the effort that I see now versus when I was a kid watching basketball, I'm like, are those guys really deserving those contracts? I mean, seriously, think about that. These kids sit and look at low effort getting maximum results. And they think that's them. I coach kids right now for football. As a matter of fact, I'm about to leave right now and go to a football camp in a minute after I get through talking to my people. And I see students who put in low effort in practice but want to start during the game. I mean, you can't even do the drills, but you want to be a starter on the field. That doesn't make sense. Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal quarterback. Do you think he would be a Super Bowl winning quarterback if he put minimal effort on the field? No. That kid plays like the greats that he looked up to. When I see Patrick Mahomes throw that ball, it reminds me of Brett Favre. Whether you love him or hate him, the man can throw a ball. Now, if Mahomes wasn't, and also Mahomes said he studied those guys. If he did not put in the effort to study and put in work, would he be where he is right now? No. And athletes like that are what kids should look up to. Now, teachers who put in the effort teaching is who kids should look up to. And that goes for us too, teachers. I mean, if you're just doing the bare minimum, I feel you shouldn't get paid your full check. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. We are in a profession where we can't afford to do the bare minimum. We need to do maximum effort, like Deadpool. Maximum effort. That's what we need to do. And if we do that, then we in turn will get maximum results. It's that simple. It's all about probability. And when we're not instilling in kids to put forth their best effort, they will not give their best effort. And if they're not giving their best effort, that puts them in a sense to where they feel that they don't need to give it. And then it comes with disastrous results. Okay. Almost done here. Both are institutions often internally ruled by intimidation and violence. Ooh, in prison, you're ruled by intimidation and violence. Okay, fear. I'm going to do this to you if you don't do this. In schools, I'm going to do this to you if you don't do this. Okay. Yes, kids can be intimidated by their teachers and by their administrators. Yes, teachers can be intimidated by their administrators. Yes, administrators can be intimidated by parents. Okay, it's across the board. You should not rule by fear. Kids should not walk in line and then when they step out of line, they're afraid of what's going to happen to them. I've seen it. I've seen and teachers go ballistic. I've seen administrative officials go ballistic over little things. I've seen principals snap on teachers in front of students. I've seen parents beat their students in school systems. I've seen all that. And that's not cool. And when you're using fear tactics, when you're using intimidation and violence to get your point across, that's an issue. You know, these tough and callous inmates become leaders in prison, okay? Because of that. You have kids become leaders, and that bully mentality is real, okay? There are some teachers, there are some schools that allow that stuff because they feel that it mitigates and takes care of the problem itself, and it doesn't. You got kids scared to go to school because they feel this kid who's not checked because they cool with this adult, it's okay. You know, you shouldn't look at individuals like they have keys to car. So schools, please, if you see that bully mentality, whether it's from the administrator, from the adults to the kids or whatever, get that up out of there. Because that bully mentality and that de facto lord over the peers and all that, it deals out the trend setting of punishment. And punishment is not, should not be an education. Like I tell my students, I will never punish you. Punishment brings pain. Discipline brings a lesson. So when kids get in trouble, or when they make a mistake and they get consequence, it needs to be disciplinary, not punishment. Because the more and more you punish, the more and more pushback you get. You don't learn from punishment. Punishment stings, hurts. Discipline, you learn. Okay, we're almost done here. Both are ruled by cliques. You know, you look at those old school TV shows, they say, well, this is the smart girls. This is the jocks. These are the emo kids. These are the computer guys, or the computer nerds. They from prison. You got the Hispanic gang over here. You got the Aryan Nation over here. You got the Black Gorilla family over here. You know, you got the Irish Mafia over here. All these different cliques, all these different groups. You know, and then also sometimes we unconsciously and consciously adhere and feed into the demands of each group. And if we're thinking about keywords feeding, if one group is getting fed more than the other ones, then they're quote unquote seen as stronger. Or the other gangs or the other groups feel that we're being malnourished. And we're being malnourished, being overlooked, and that creates pressure. So when you have, like, for example, teams in your school building, make sure that everything is being evenly distributed. All right, make sure one group is not being looked at more than another group. You don't want to do that because that can be an issue. Because, like I said, in that photograph of your school, if the student feels they're not represented in that photo, they will react. Like my sister Lene says, her show comes on right after mine, 8 o'clock p.m. She said, if the village does not embrace that child will burn down the village in order to get warmth. And you will see that in schools. You see that in prisons too. You know, Dr. King said also, rioting is the voice of the unheard. So you don't, you want to make sure everything's evenly distributed. You want to make sure that you're not consciously and unconsciously feeding into the demands of a clique or a group in order to impress another one. And then, of course, both have tenure regulations not conducive to improvement. Now, people say that I want tenure on my job, but what does tenure really mean? I worked in a school setting one time, and I had a teacher. She did this 2 years in a row. She no-showed work for a week. And I'm not going to say what she did or what she was doing because, one, it's not our business to discuss that. And two, let's look at the main thing. Doesn't matter what she was doing. What matters was she no-showed. Okay? The teacher no-showed for a week, and because the teacher was on tenure, was still allowed to keep their job and get their contract and get their raise. Wow. How was that productive? How? Versus you have these teachers who, you get your contracts, and for about what, 5 years, you're at will employee. That means they can fire you whenever. That's not good. But you got an at will employee that comes to work every day, but their contract's not renewed. But you have this tenure teacher who no show for a week, didn't call nothing, showed up on the next day, on the next week like nothing happened, and they still got their job. That's not cool. And you got that in prison systems too. When you have people that don't care, don't give a darn about their job, and if your students see that, okay, if you don't care about my education, why should I care about my education? If you don't care about my safety, why should I care about my safety? Okay, I'm in all my life in this school, this teacher gave me 30%. I'm thinking 30% is the norm, whereas in this school system, 95% is the norm. Who's going to be the issue here? You know. Now we all know that when that when you get mediocrity, it's not a good thing. It's not. Now prisons have the opposite problem. The average tenure of a prison guard or prison chief is 2.4 years, which isn't nearly enough time to pursue real reform. So that's their issue. They're not keeping people long enough to fix the problem. So it's the opposite effect, but still a problem. Now, I know I said a mouthful. One thing we got to understand and realize is that when we are teaching our kids, make sure our kids know that they are our most precious resource. I mean, not to sound like a cliche, but Whitney Houston sung it best in her song that she believes the children are our future. They are our future. Whether you like that kid or not, the kid in that classroom is going to be your next doctor, lawyer, president, teacher of your child, owner of a business, technician, welder, military official, whatever. They are going to take the baton or take the torch from us. We got to groom our replacements. I mean, whether you like it or not, like biblically, as a parent, I need to raise my child to be better than me. So at age 5, my son should be better than me at age 5. Like I tell my students, my job is to make sure you're better than me, 7th grade me. 7th grade misdemeanors should not be better than 7th grade students in this class. You need to be better than me because by the time you get my age, you need to be better than me because you're going to run this. And that's how we should be. See, we have too many people that are afraid to have people surpass them. And they do all they can to eclipse people. And those individuals should not be in leadership. Because when they do that, they are oppressing our people. And when people are oppressed, then they do things to fight oppression. And sometimes when you fight oppression, Whether you're on the good side of the law or the wrong side of the law, they throw you in the prison system. See how that all folds in? I'm not going to educate you correctly. But then when I feel that you're being miseducated, as a result, I'm going to throw you in an area where I feel you should go. That's institutionalized racism. So if you really love, you know, your students, and you love your, what you do, what you would find yourself doing is holding those accountable. Hold people accountable that have your most precious resource in the palms of their hands. It's your right. It's your manner. It's your duty to protect your kids. Hold these schools accountable. The wealth belongs in the minds of your students. I'm Tyrone Givens Jr., and you have been listening to the Sources of the Inkwell. In the Inkwell, education is like ink. It overflows. And just like ink, it stains, but it stains permanent. See you next week. And have a good school year.